The primary hypothesis of ADHD is that it is an understimulated brain, that because of its understimulation, it seeks stimulation in the outside world, whether that is taking risks, succumbing to addictions, being in high stress environments, or honestly arguing. Is there a better alternative? Is there a better way? Is there a better pathway we could pursue? Yes, there is, and it is natural nootropics and supplements for ADHD. And therefore, to treat ADHD, it would make sense to increase dopamine and norepinephrine so that you have that stimulation internally, so you don't need to seek it out externally, and so that you can lower symptoms. The first is a cylindrosol solution, which is a modification of a rhodiola extract. Rhodiola has been used for years and years and is good effectiveness for treating some symptoms of ADHD. And this is great, except the beauty lies in a stronger form so we can get stronger effects. And that is what this solution is, in that it's standardized to the two main energizing components of regular rhodiola, which is tyrosol and cylindrosol. And so because of that, it gives you a very smooth stimulation and clean energizing effect. Cylindrosol is more mood promoting, tyrosol is more energizing and immunomodulating. Additionally, it upregulates tyrosine hydroxylase, protects dopamine neurons, and even enhances mitochondrial biogenesis. Essentially, it is a slam dunk for improving your mental energy. Honestly, it's too strong for me at the recommended dose, so I take a lower dose, and it synergizes really well with other stimulants like coffee. And download my free new ebook, 87 Ways to Increase Dopamine, link in the description. Another natural effective way to treating ADHD is by taking ginseng. Except, does gin really sing? I'm sure you probably heard about ginseng before for its mild or more moderate effects, and the effects are definitely there. And it primarily comes from the fact that it increases dopamine and norepinephrine, as well as it normalizes high COMT activity in the PFC. So COMT is the enzyme that breaks down the catecholamines, which is often high with people that do have ADHD, leading to some cognitive dysfunction. Except if you can inhibit some of this excessively high enzyme level, you can increase your cognitive function, and this is what ginseng does, as well as it can increase cerebral blood flow and is neuroprotective. It does a lot of different things, and it is very effective, except the situation with natural compounds is bioavailability, and that how bioavailable is it? And this really matters, because if we're going to treat a lot of neurological conditions, it needs to be effective in the body. And this is what struggles to happen with some natural compounds, in that they lack the efficacy in the body because of this. And one solution to this is synapsin, which is a combination of vitamin B12 and ginseng taken in a nasal spray, in that it can enhance neurogenesis and is very cognitively enhancing. Except the funny thing about it is that it's vitamin B12 and ginseng, so it's not that complex, except what's enhanced is the bioavailability, which makes a tremendous difference to its efficacy, in that the bioavailability of compounds really matters. And another way to enhance the bioavailability of ginseng, in my humble anecdotal experience, is to take it subliminally or dump the powder in your mouth. Like, this is one of the strongest herbs I've taken for its stimulation, except I notice nothing from the capsules, nothing. Except when I take the powder, I notice everything. I notice such strong effects, and also cortisol reducing effects at the same time, in that I'm energized and slightly less stressed. So I would highly recommend this compound. And again, I'm talking about the ginseng leaf extract, not any other extract, because it's mainly localized to this specific extract. And if you are enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. The next compound is triacetyleuridine, and if you know me, you know that I've been talking about this compound for ages because it is so effective. Uridine is something that we commonly consume in our diet already, so it's fairly harmless to consume a little bit more of it. Except the benefits that we get are very helpful, in that it can do a lot of different things, especially around dopamine, which is such a hot topic today for good reason, because we live in such a hyper-stimulated society with TikTok and everything going on. Dopamine is very key, and that is what uridine does, in that it can modulate dopamine release, so it doesn't have so many peaks and troughs. It's a lot more smooth line in its release, which can help a lot of executive functions, as well as it can even upregulate the dopamine D2 receptor, the inhibitory receptor, giving you more executive function, which is often dysfunctional in ADHD. Its second primary action is increasing cholinergic usage in the brain, giving you a lot of pro-cognitive effects. It's an integral part of the Mr. Happy stack. It should make you happy because it's even shown beneficial effects in lowering some symptoms from Alzheimer's disease, which is pretty interesting. And again, with this compound, I noticed fairly nothing with the capsules, except I noticed everything with the powder, in that taking compounds in a powder form will just allow it to hit your bloodstream quicker, in that you'll notice faster and stronger effects, which is really what you want when you're taking a nootropic to enhance some facet of cognition like memory, focus, or motivation. You want to get those strong effects, and the effects compound as opposed to catabolize each other, so the effects will get better the more you use it. I noticed that it puts the key in the ignition in my brain, in that I have more mental energy to do productive tasks, and I have more mental clarity to do those tasks in a productive way. Polygala, the Swiss Army knife of a nootropic, which does so many different things. Like, are you ready? Firstly, it inhibits monoamine reuptake, so dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Secondly, it modulates glutamatergic receptors, giving you a lot of pro-cognitive effects. Thirdly, it upregulates NGF and BDNF, as well as inhibiting some monoamine degradation. Even so much to the fact that an extracted compound from Polygala is being tested and trialed for ADHD at the moment because it is very effective. So you can try it now and experience the great benefits before everybody else, because it is very beneficial. This is another one that's best to take subliminally, as well as it's stupidly economical in that you can pay a one-time fee to get the powder and you can get almost 300 uses from it, which is insane. Insane value for such a low price. When I take Polygala, I notice everything just works a bit better, and it is amazing for verbal fluidity in that you can just speak a lot better, you can tell stories a lot better, and you can remember a lot of intricate details a lot better, as well as it has impressive benefits for mood and memory, so highly recommend to try it out. Next is Subroxy, which is the aforementioned Ritalin alternative that I still stand by to this day because it is very effective and it is very similar in that they're both dopamine reuptake inhibitors. Except make no mistake, Ritalin is definitely stronger, except Subroxy is more sustainable because it increases CREB and it increases BDNF, which enhances neuroplasticity, which will enhance your capacity to learn, where Ritalin doesn't do this, and oftentimes it will downregulate those neurotrophic factors. So this is where Subroxy has the upper hand. Subroxy can be like focus on command. Some people do notice tolerance build up with it. Other people notice that they can take it months on end and they still get consistent effects. So it kind of just depends on the individual. It lasts around 3 to 4 hours. And the worst thing about Subroxy for me is that it has such an ugly come down in that you just feel off. You feel a bit foggy, you feel a bit lethargic, and you honestly feel just very irritable. And this is just my experience with it, except the come down from it is very uniquely bad. It's to almost just take it when you need to study or you need to do something like that and you don't have any big social commitments afterwards. Because I noticed when I took it before and I was gonna go hang out with friends afterwards, I was just socially sour and I was just in an off mood for no reason. Next is desiccated beef liver. And is liver king? Well, it definitely can be. Think about it as a more anabolic form of alpha GPC or a choline donor, because that's really what it is. It increases a lot of different things because it is nature's multivitamin. Even a lion, when it kills an animal in the savannah, the first thing that it eats is liver because it instinctually knows that it is the most nutrient and vitamin rich part of the animal. And we can take some advice from nature and just some advice from science too, that consuming beef liver is a very good thing to do. It's very similar to glandular therapy in that like supports like, in that if you want to increase liver health, you consume beef liver because it has a lot of bioavailable vitamins and peptides for your own liver so that it can improve its health and vitality. And it makes logical sense, and this is a tradition passed down by indigenous people for the years and the eons because it makes sense. The biggest reason why beef liver is beneficial for ADHD is that oftentimes with this disorder, there are gene mutations affecting the methylation cycle and dysregulations of the dopamine system. And interestingly enough, beef liver can actually upregulate the dopamine system by upregulating the dopamine D2 receptors, because it is such a potent source of vitamin A, and the D2 receptors require vitamin A to function properly. So by giving yourself a very bioavailable source of vitamin A, you can enhance your dopamine system and lower your symptoms of ADHD. And even more so, it is a very choline dense compound in that it is more choline dense than eggs. So it is one of the most choline rich foods on the planet, so it can enhance your memory in that way. And the best way that I would recommend to take it is by taking desiccated beef liver, which is basically dehydrated and shredded and powdered beef liver, because that way it's tasteless and you still get the good effects from it. And it is a very valuable thing to supplement. Dynamine, are you ready for caffeine 2.0 that is more intense, that has quicker effects with less side effects? Well, dynamine could be your answer. It is very good and very effective in that it can improve your mood, your memory, and your motivation very quickly. Lasts around 2 to 3 hours, in that it's almost a caffeine mimic coming from the kucha plant, which is very similar to the caffeine plant family. I noticed that it makes my movements more explosive, it makes my mood more excited, and it makes my motivation more electric, in that it really enhances a lot of things. I haven't noticed any crash with it or any tolerance buildup after taking it for months and months. It only lasts around 2 to 3 hours, which is a good thing because it's more useful and versatile. This one is not best taken subliminally unless you're very brave, because the class of compounds that it fits into, the xanthins, is notoriously bitter, so it'll just taste really bad. Except if you want to get stronger effects, gotta do what you gotta do. Otherwise, just taking it orally will give you strong effects. There are definitely more natural nootropics for ADHD. I just wanted to talk about the most powerful and potent ones that the most people could get the most immediate effects from. These are all safe options to use as well. You could even combine them all together in a single stack and notice the strong effects, except it would probably be overstimulating and overkill, except you could, because they are all safe. And check out this video where I talk about the best nootropic for memory that not a lot of people know about, except it is such a great nootropic because it gives me such great effects, and you can be in the know, so check out that video right now.